If you could see what I see, you'd lose your breath for sure. You are the perfect replications and the ones that I adore. I carved you from a diamond and polished you with love. Then I sent you out beyond the veil so you might choose the love. Sweet creations, your beauty makes me weak. Oh, my sweet creations, the whole world's at your feet. And one day soon you'll see it. You could see what I see, you'd never lose your smile. For you walk in thy own footsteps when you walk that second mile. These are more than words, my love. This is poetry divine. My signature is everywhere, for all of life is mine. One day you'll see what I see, and you'll come to realize that every tear you ever cried I wiped from my own eyes. I know your every feeling, and I felt your every joy. But you and I are one, my child, still illusion was the choice. If you could see what I see, you'd lose your breath for sure. You are the perfect replications. You're the ones that I adore.
Good morning. Sister Fatima, Sister Belinda, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning
Good
to
morning,
everyone.
Sister Usha.
Good morning, everyone. So, thank you for that beautiful song. And from the very song itself, you know, it's about having the sight that God has to see. And obviously God sees in a completely different way because it doesn't have the kind of preconceptions, learned behavior by being in a physical world. And so definitely the clarity to see beyond the physical and the subtle, actually it's very appropriate, because when we talk about the power to discern, we actually talking about to be able to see beyond that which is obvious. So, yep, let's go for it, sisters.
Discernment.
That's it, the power to discern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the past, we used to use the word to discriminate. And I know the word discrimination can get us into trouble. But, you know, it's interesting how, Baba, how we can actually use this, this idea of discerning to actually clarify what is the power in our ability to know the subtle differences. Who's not experiencing sound? Somebody says they're not experiencing sound. Please check your own audio, because everything seems to be okay at this end.
Okay.
Sound is okay for everyone?
Yeah, it's good.
My sound wasn't working properly just
Okay.
a few minutes ago, but it's fine. I'll check it out again.
No, not specifically. Somebody is just saying sound, there is no sound.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so sisters, what is your thought on discerning power?
Discerning power is the key for me. Because, oh, sorry, hold on. I'm having...
You've got two devices on, Sister Fatima.
Yes, I know. Let me switch my laptop off.
Sister Belinda, do you want to share something in the meantime?
Yeah. Yes, as Sister Fatima is saying, you know, this is such a key power for us, because you know, we always, as you were alluding, Sister Usha, that this is to do with how we see things. And, you know, people say that there are as many opinions as there are people, which is so true, because we all see things differently. And what we're after on a spiritual journey is to see with as true a vision as we possibly can. And we know that our vision is colored by so many different lenses that have been created through experiences and just life in general. And so we land up with a view on things that can be very skewed depending on the experiences that we've had. And so the power to discern is really that power that we get when we're able to remove those lenses and really see with the eyes of truth. And I think that begins with looking at ourselves. You know, we don't see ourselves really accurately. I mean, others don't see us accurately either, because they're looking at us through their lenses. But we are also looking at ourselves through our own lenses as well. And it is connected with the ego self, the lower self, because the ego self is always trying to protect us. And so often we don't see the truth about ourselves because it can be painful as well. But I always like the expression here, better the devil you know. just meaning that, it was actually a mantra that I used to have. I want to see that within myself, which is deceiving me, which is not allowing me to actually know the truth. Because if I see even the weakness, I can let it go, I can move on. But if I don't see it, then very difficult to progress in my spiritual life. So looking at the self first.
So spot on. You just took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry, Sister Fatima.
No, that's good. That's good. It makes, we think alike, which is very good. But you were mentioning the ego, which is one of the key elements that stop us from looking at ourselves. And you were using the word truth. And I was thinking that if you're searching for truth, you would use the eyes of truth and honesty to look inside yourself. But just to take it a little bit, one step further, sometimes also we like to come to quick decisions and put things into compartments. And that is also another mistake we make when we think we are discerning. Because you can't create compartments and put things into compartments as such when you are in that stage. Because discernment is really, really going very, very deep inside yourself and seeing everything, the things that you like about yourself and the things that you don't like about yourself. And to see them honestly, and which took me back to something that I mentioned in previous lessons that we've had here, that question of always asking yourself, what was my part in this, if there is a problem? To me, that always works as a key, not to look at the other person's part, but to look at my part. And so discernment is that action of stepping outside of yourself and looking at yourself or the situation, as you were saying. But at the same time, just be careful not to put things into compartments and then put a little label on them and then say that's it. And that's what I wanted to add. Otherwise, I completely agree with you, sister.
So I wanted to just, because we're looking at the word seeing a lot. And, when you look at the 8 powers, this is the 5th power and they're actually sequential. So this correlates with the power to withdraw. And so they actually opposites in a sense. So in a way, when we are not connected to our physical gross senses and we become still enough, we're then able to begin to operate from a more intuitive level. So what we're feeling and sensing is not because I can see with my eyes or I can hear, but it's actually the subtle energy. And for us to develop that kind of ability to start feeling, it means that we work from the heart and not from the head. And obviously, when we work from the heart, the ego doesn't have room to survive. And so this is really opening the heart space to making sure that, to really know the intentions, like there's a very beautiful image that I have. And sometimes these are just stories and not real life, where there was a man walking an old person up the street. And so it was quite far away and everybody looking was seeing that this man or this young boy is helping this old person go across the street. So the act was actually a very good act, but the person performing the act was very upset and irritated with the old person for being so slow and whatever. But he had enough of his sense of physical behavior not to look bad, but he was actually verbally and emotionally giving this old person a hard time for being such a nuisance and whatever it is. And so this is something, what is very important about discerning power is that there's always a physical that looks, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And because our world teaches us to be in a certain way, we actually live our life very compartmentalized, like you said, Sister Fatima. And then we kind of box that as being the right thing, the wrong thing. This is what goes, this is what goes, this is ethical, this is not ethical, this is just, this is unjust. And so that actually means that what we do is then we begin to live our life ticking boxes off our head. And actually we stop a very, very powerful ability to be able to be present in the moment and feel the intentions. And I think this is something we can only do when we do practice that awareness of being rather than just knowing, like, you know, in terms of information. Mm-hmm. So the power to discern is going to become more a power for us to experience closeness and connectedness to people, because we are actually working from our heart space, and where people can feel you and people can be able to touch that which is valuable. And, you know, unfortunately in this world, there are a lot of people who only after they died became famous, because people didn't know their value when they were around, because people were looking at the grossness. And I think that's evident. Only when somebody dies, we'll say, oh, but, you know, now we have a chance to reflect on the person, and then we look at the good. Because actually what's happening is that we also are out of our own grossness. So I think we must think about discernment as the subtle senses that doesn't have a physical touch, a physical sight, but it's actually coming from the soul space, which is intuitive, which is vibration, which is intention.
Yeah, very lovely. And it really highlights, you know, the first step, which is the inward step, that we know ourselves and we're able to discern the truth within ourselves, that original divinity and beauty of the soul. Because if we can discern that, then our attitude towards ourselves and our vision towards ourselves becomes very clean and honest, as Sister Fatima mentioned. And then through that, that ability then to be able to discern the inner feelings and intentions of others. How often today do people misread the intentions of another? I mean, so many people feel misunderstood for this reason, because they had one intention, but actually it was interpreted in a completely different way. And so much misunderstanding and feeling of being misunderstood arises out of that. And it's really because we don't know ourselves. So how can we then really perceive at a deeper level the possible needs of others, and really understand where they're coming from? So many of our relationship problems arise because we're not able to discern. We're so disconnected from ourselves.
Sister Belinda, as you were talking, there was a picture that was coming into my mind of a jeweler and how he chooses the pieces of jewelry that he's going to use to make jewelry, rings, kind of stuff. And of course, we are the jewelers. And our innate qualities of the soul are the jewelry, the diamonds that the jeweler works with. And by being introspective, going inside and looking at this wealth that you have, you begin to realize the worth of your spiritual wealth in that sense. And it gives you the ability to know when to use it and how to use it. And that's what the power of discernment, gives me that picture of being the jeweler who has all this wealth inside, the wealth of spiritual virtues and powers, and how when we use those, we are able to live and become elevated, and we can also influence and inspire others in that way without trying to be controlling, but just to be an example in that way.
So it's really lovely for us, if we want to develop this practice or this power in ourselves. A subtle practice that we can use on a daily basis is to see that when I am understanding life or looking at life, am I looking it through an understanding that I'm a soul, an energy, a non-physical being, or do I look at myself as a body? And it's almost like this information of my true awareness of myself becomes like a filter that helps me assimilate the information in the right way. And so it's not something that just happens or doesn't happen. It's not like I can or I can't discern, I'm gifted or not gifted, it's not that at all. It is something that actually intrinsically, if we didn't have bodies, we would all actually be so open and real, and there'll be no facade whatsoever. But because we've adopted bodies, even just trying to maintain this image that I'm a male or a female, or this is my position, it all has a little bit of color that taints actually my ability to see beyond what I have as a perception of myself. So to actually go back to identity and see, is my identity linked to anything out there where I'm trying to make an impression, I'm trying to kind of make a positioning for myself, it creates some kind of safety. And then if everything was really taken away from you in terms of an identity, that you would still feel great about who you are, because nothing out there actually defines you. And from that place, there'll be purity, there'll be humility, you have peace, there's no arrogance, there's just like everything that is like how God would see you. So to become God-like in our vision for the world, and to be able to be connected to know what we can offer the world, is actually to make sure that we cleanse ourselves, in a sense, declutter ourselves from the things that we have propped ourselves up with, and feel the safety of letting all of those things be shed, and then just be enough. Still know that I am enough, I'm okay.
So it really is a question of removing that which is simply not true, not real, actually, in me. And we need discernment to do that, to know the part that's not real. And we've spoken a lot about insecurity, but the insecurity is all connected with the things that you've mentioned, Sister Usha. And if we just are able to separate ourselves from that, then we come to that place of very deep security, where we're able to, we can see a defect, but we are not then hijacked by that defect. We are able to use it to understand another and be helpful instead of having a reaction.
Thank you, Sister Belinda. Actually, the word fear, when we were talking about insecurities, the word fear came to my mind. We have these fears about how the world sees us, what people will say, what people think. It's the fear. Sister Usha?
Yep. I think who's meditating today? Fatima, sister, or Sister Belinda?
I think it's me.
Okay,
Yes.
go for it. Actually, I really enjoyed your meditation the other day, so please enchant us.
Okay. After having had this plate full of knowledge, let us step back and step inside into that space of silence within us. And let us recall what has been said. I know that my true identity is the soul. I am a soul. And when I see myself as a soul, I see myself through clear lenses, truth. I leave behind the identity of being a body. I know that I have a wealth of powers within me that give me the spiritual power to transform myself. And to do this, I have the power of truth, which finishes the fears. Because when I have the courage to look within, that is the seed to the start of self-transformation. When I'm able to see that is which is still needing to be changed in me, then I do not wait to be told, but I do what I see I have to do. I discern. And behind this power of discernment, I introspect. I look deeply inside myself and I accept what I see because I'm not afraid. What I'm seeing within me is what is going to help me to remove what is still not good inside of me. My aim is to become complete, is to become like my Father. My aim is to spread peace, to spread love, and to spread happiness. Not because others are being peaceful towards me, or that they are loving towards me, or that they intend to make me happy. I intend to give love, to give happiness, and to be peaceful and to spread peace, no matter what the situation is, because this is who I am. These are my original qualities. The quality of purity is mine. The quality of peace. I don't have to go and look for peace in a forest or to sit by the seaside to receive or experience peace. I know that I am peace. I don't have to wait for the other person to love me because I am love. When I am aware of these qualities and that they belong to me and that they are mine, then I have the power and the ability to use them fearlessly because I know that these powers are mine for eternity. They can never be depleted. In fact, the more I use them, the more I grow them inside of me. And so today, as I step out of this discussion, I take with me the key, the power to discern, because now I understand what it is to discern. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Fatima. So as we
Thank
go
you.
into our day, let us use the power to discern to the extent that I am deeply rooted in being true to my true nature. To that extent, I have the spiritual power to discern the thoughts, feelings, and vibrations of the self and others. I am in harmony with everyone. I am saved from deception. I am free from doubt. I am uninfluenced by external factors. So please have a beautiful day and take time for yourself, connect with you, and know that whatever you need already exists inside of you. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sisters, for the beautiful session and a beautiful meditation. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sisters. Have a wonderful,
Shanti.
wonderful Sunday, and God bless. Thank you.
And have a nice Sunday.
Yes, powerful, beautiful Sunday. Bye, everyone.